Hey guys, so today, instead of adding polynomial expressions, we are going to be subtracting them, okay? And this is where it gets a little tricky. If it wasn't tricky already, that's good, but it's going to be just a tad bit more challenging. Here is how we do it. If you notice, I'm taking this trinomial and I'm going to subtract this trinomial. Okay, so I'm going to first start off by removing the parentheses. Okay, and remember how I told you guys that I look here and there's a positive 1, so I distribute the 1 to everything, okay? That's really important in this case. So basically it's positive 1, it's 1 times that, so you still end up with everything right there. So it's 4x squared plus 7x minus 8. Okay, but if you look at this next trinomial, I'm subtracting that. I'm subtracting the 2x squared, I'm subtracting the 2x, and I'm subtracting a negative 8. Okay, so you have to be very careful when you see a subtraction sign. Okay, you need to remember that I'm subtracting, so it's negative 1 times the 2x squared, so that's going to be a negative 2x squared. Now that's where most students kind of stop. They put that with that, and then they just copy everything else, but you have to remember we're distributing that entire thing, okay? So now I'm also subtracting the 2x. So it's negative 1 times 2x, so you get minus 2x. And I'm also subtracting the negative 8. So it's negative 1 times negative 8, which gives me positive 8. Okay? And now we can combine the like terms, okay? So here I have 4 of the x squareds, and I'm subtracting 2 of the x squareds. So I'm left with 2x squared. Here I have 7 of my x's. Here I have negative 2 of the x's. So I have 7 and I'm getting rid of 2 of them. So that leaves me with 5 of the x's. And here I'm starting off with a negative 8. And here I'm adding an 8. So if you start with negative 8 and add 8 to it, you get 0. So plus 0. Okay? And you don't need to write that. Your final answer could just be like this. 2x squared plus 5x, and that would be your simplified expression, okay? All right, let's do another one, a little more challenging. It's going to look crazier, okay? We have negative x squared y cubed plus 3xy squared minus xy. Okay, it's another trinomial. And I'm going to subtract x squared y cubed minus 3xy squared plus xy. All right, now I'm going to give you guys a chance to work on this, okay? There are two possible outcomes. I know that some of you guys are going to get this right, and I know that some of you guys are going to make a mistake, and I am pretty sure I can predict the mistake you're going to make. So please try to go slowly and follow the steps that I showed you. Okay? All right, here we go. There's a positive 1 out here, so I multiply that to everything, and it just stays the same. Everything stays the same. So negative x squared y cubed plus 3xy squared minus xy. Here I have a negative. I'm subtracting all of this. So I'm subtracting an x squared y cubed. So subtract the x squared y cubed. I'm also subtracting a negative 3xy squared. So if you multiply that to that, you get a positive 3xy squared. I have a feeling that's where some of you guys first messed up. And then finally, I'm subtracting a positive xy. So it's that times that gives me a negative xy. I have a feeling that's the other place you guys messed up. Okay? All right, so now if you look, here are the like terms. I have a negative one of these guys, and I also have a negative one of these guys. So if I add those two together, how many of these negative things do I have? Well, I have 2 of them. So I have negative 2 of those guys. Negative 2 of the x squared y cubes. Okay, here I have 3 of the xy squareds. Here I have 3 more of the xy squared. So if I have 3 of them here and 3 of them here, then I get 6 of them. So plus 6 xy squared. And here I'm subtracting off an xy, and I'm also subtracting off an xy. So if I subtract 2 of those, you guessed it, I have -2 of the xy's. Okay? All right, here's our final example. All right, if x squared plus 3x plus 7 is subtracted from 5x squared plus 4x minus 3, what is the coefficient of the x in the result? Okay. All right, so this is the first mistake. It says if x squared plus 3x plus 7 is subtracted from 5x squared plus 4x minus 3, I have a feeling most of you guys were going to go ahead and just put x squared plus 3x plus 7 minus 5x squared plus 4x minus 3, okay? But look, it says that this is subtracted from this, so I have to start with this guy. So I have to start with 5x squared plus 4x minus 3. And I'm going to subtract this from that. So minus x squared plus 3x plus 7. And notice how I wrote it down with parentheses. I'm subtracting this trinomial from this trinomial. I'm subtracting that trinomial from that trinomial. Okay? All right, see if you can do it. All right, here we go. 1 times all that is just all that, so 5x squared plus 4x minus 3. -1 times this is -x squared. -1 times this is -3x. And -1 times that is -7. All right, so here I have 5 of the x squareds. Here I'm subtracting an x squared, so I have left 4x squareds. Here I have 4 of the x's. Here I'm subtracting 3 of the x's, so 4 take away 3 is 1, so plus 1 of the x's. And then here I have -3, and here I have -7. If you combine those, you get -10. All right, so what is the answer to the question? The question was, what is the coefficient of the x in the result? Coefficient is the number in front of the x, okay? Like here, what's the coefficient in front of this x? It's 3. What's the coefficient of the x here? Well, it's 4. What's the coefficient of the x squared? That's 5. Okay, what's the coefficient of this x squared? That's right, it's 1. You don't see it, it's there, it's 1. Okay, so look down here. What's the coefficient of the x? It's 1. Okay, so 1. That's your final answer. All right, email me if you have any questions. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.